Let's go next to Ricky from Charlotte. Ricky from Charlotte, welcome to the program.
Hey, David. I just joined the call log, so I didn't hear the earlier questions. But has anyone already asked about the Fetterman Nas debate?
Well, what was brought up, the only thing that's been brought up so far about Oz Fetterman earlier this week was that the left just seems to have higher standards for candidates, sometimes to our own deficit. That was really the only angle so far.
Okay. Well, I guess the main thing I was getting at was trying to get an idea of how damaging you think this could be for Fetterman. Um, and I know that like it's probably remains to be seen. I was
Yeah.
trying to like look at other campaigns that have had like things that in theory should have been disastrous, but some candidates still ended up performing better.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw back in 2018 there's a famous brothel owner in Nevada who was running for election. He was like a big friend of Donald Trump.
I remember
actually,
that. I don't remember the guy's name, but I remember
Dennis
that.
Hoff.
Dennis Hoff. Okay.
He died 2 weeks before his election, and he still won by like a 2-1 margin.
Right.
And so I feel like dying has got to be like worse than like just having difficulty like expressing yourself. Yeah.
So here's my sense of this. You're right. I don't know what the effect is going to be yet. The issue, what really is disappointing about this is Fetterman's not having a cognitive issue. It was very clear during the debate. He knew Oz's positions on things. He knew what Oz had said about different things. He was having an issue converting thoughts into speech. And it's not as though this would in any way limit his ability to be a senator. His doctors have cleared him for full senatorial duty. And because it's so close, it's a 1 point right now with the polling we have, it's 1.3 points by which Fetterman is winning. You may end up with Senator Oz because Fetterman had a stroke, and that's just so disturbing.
So you think there are probably enough undecideds left that would be willing to flip their vote?
I'm not saying there are. I'm not saying there are, but I'm saying it's so close that even if the number is really small, it could flip the election. I don't think it's a large number of people. It's just so close.
Okay. And I guess so the last thing on this is what do you think Fetterman could do from here, like the last 2 weeks to turn this around?
I don't think there's anything. I think it's the ground game. And I don't know that Fetterman publicly doing stuff is what he needs. I think it's just he's got to have a better ground game, get out the vote, put on repeat the fact that Oz said local politicians should be involved in making decisions about abortions, and hope that that is enough.
Do you think, what if he did like a press conference with like a physician or something like that, and he was able to speak more clearly? Or
the issue is it's got to go really well. And so he's got to be sure it's going to go so well that it will convince people. And I just don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a frustrating situation. I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for taking my call, man.
All right. Thanks very much. There's Ricky from Charlotte raising very important questions. That's for sure. Let's go to Ann in Wisconsin, another critical state in this election. Ann, welcome to the program.
Hi. Glad that I got through. So I am looking at the macro picture of kind of American politics right now, and I am kind of scared of the overall, let's say, Naziization of the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you've talked about it and the increasing anti-Semitism.
Yes.
That is taking over. And from my perspective, being one of those letters in the LGBT, it is terrifying because I think what gets overlooked is that the Nazis are the reason that our research into LGBT health is not where it should be. We are years and years behind because one of the pioneers, I believe his name is Hirschfeld, all of his research was burned by the Nazis. So, and so and this is relevant because the question of the Supreme Court overturning gay marriage is kind of up in the air right now.
Yes.
And to me, this just screams, holy shit, we're going down Nazi land. And that's
So
horrifying.
it would be better if you didn't swear because we have to bleep that. I also am
I
wondering,
apologize.
did you have a question today, Anne?
Yes. Yes. Do you have an overall sense that that's the direction that we're going? Or do you think that's a fringe? Do you think that's going to become a majority of the party?
Majority, I don't know, but it's been made abundantly clear that they're not stopping with their victory on Roe v. Wade. You don't have your biggest victory and then say, I'm done. I mean, okay, Michael Jordan retired at the top after 3, but then he came back and he won some more. And then, okay. The point is, they're not going to just call it quits after one of their biggest victories in decades. They've said they believe that the gay marriage decision was wrongly decided in the same way that they believe Roe v. Wade was wrongly decided. So they're coming for it. The question is, will they succeed? And I don't know the answer to that. One thing that scares me, Anne, is that if you look at recent right-wing in-person events, like, for example, CPAC a few months ago, the biggest applause lines were the anti-LGBT comments. And it happened with Ted Cruz on pronouns, and it happened with Trump. And so it does seem that there is a resurgence of anti-LGBT sentiment within the Republican Party.
Right. And my take on that, and I don't know if you agree, is that none of them care about that. It's just mass hysteria.
Who doesn't care? In what sense? They don't care about what?
They don't. I don't think they really care about the gay marriage or the pronouns.
Oh, I think they do, but I think they care about it more broadly about what they feel it means for the direction of the country and less about individual LGBT people. That I would agree with.
Okay. Because I think, I don't know. I just think, are they going to use this kind of rhetoric? Because I honestly think that they're going to go Nazi, just flat out.
Well, I don't know. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But in the immediate, we have some very important votes coming up just 2 weeks from now. So I know you'll be voting, Anne, and I really appreciate the call.
All right. Thank you so much for having me on. Sorry for the swears.
No problem. There is Anne from Wisconsin. Very, very important stuff. And I appreciate that.